Hi guys, it's Hinda and welcome back to Cooking Fantasies. In today's video, we're going to be making these delicious and gorgeous meringues. So yeah, I love meringue cookies and I think everybody does. They taste really nice. You can enjoy them or serve them as a treat, as cookies by themselves, or you can use them to decorate cakes and cupcakes. I think they're perfect for decorating cakes because first of all, you can easily color them, whatever color you prefer, which would go with your cake theme. And you can easily apply golden color or silver color on them if this is what you're going for. I personally find that they look really gorgeous on number cakes, flower cakes, rose cakes, or even fresh flowers cakes because they bring this new texture and flavor, and as I said, they're just delicious. And on top of all that, they are really easy to make. You need exactly 2 ingredients to make them. You just have to make sure to follow all the tips and directions to make the perfect meringues. And what you're gonna need is the same quantity of egg whites and sugar plus a pinch of salt. So if you are using a scale, which I highly recommend, what you're gonna do is break some eggs, separate the whites from the yolks, measure your whites, and then you're gonna need the very same quantity of sugar. So if you break, for example, 4 eggs and you end up with 150 grams of egg whites, then you're gonna need 150 grams of sugar. The measurements with the cups I'm going to be leaving down in the description box, and let's get started. And we're going to start by beating the egg whites with a pinch of salt. 2 very important points you should take into consideration. The first thing is that the egg whites should be in room temperature. If they're cold or right out of the fridge, you might not achieve the same results. The second thing is that there should be no traces of oil whatsoever, neither in the bowl or in any utensils you are using. So now after you started beating the egg whites, and now this is again a very important point, you must wait until the egg whites turn white and in a meringue-like texture and thick, and only then you can start adding the sugar gradually. If you add your sugar before the egg whites turn white and thick and foamy, your meringues will not be good. So yeah, meringues are easy to make, but they do require some time and patience. If you are using a hand mixer, you might need up to 20 minutes of mixing to achieve the right texture. If you're using a stronger mixer, you might need between 15 minutes or 17 minutes depending. What you're looking for is this sticky meringue texture, which is known as the beak. And when you touch it between your fingers, you shouldn't feel the sugar grains. It should have already melted. So if you are looking to make simple white meringues, you can skip all of this and start piping your meringues right away. If you want to color it, I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So I'm looking for a pink and yellow color. So I'm going to be separating my meringue into 2 separate bowls, to which I will be adding some color. And it is better to use gel color and to avoid fluid colors or even powder, as they might change the texture of the meringues. Use a toothpick. It is the best way to adjust a few drops of your color. If you're not happy with it later on, you can still add some color, but if you add too much at the beginning and then you end up with a very strong color, what you didn't want, then it's very hard to get rid of it. So adjust a little bit at the beginning and use a spatula to fold it in. Try not to use any strong movement, just gently fold in the colors into your meringue. Now for the piping tips, you're going to need this number 1M from Wilton for the rose shape and the other one for the meringue kisses. They are mainly the one I used, but you can use actually any piping tip you have in hand. You can experiment with your piping tips. If you're not happy with it, you can just scrape it, put it back in the piping bag and pipe again. So this is optional, but for more swirly effect, before adding my meringue to the piping bag, I'm going to be adding some color to the sides of my bag to get these nice lines on my roses. It gives it more depth, more texture, but this is optional. So prepare your piping bag and add some color on the sides as you see using a toothpick before filling it with your meringue. So my meringues are ready to pipe, and like I said at the beginning, you cannot use any oil, you cannot use any baking spray or whatever. What you need to use is a parchment paper, baking paper, wax paper, whatever you prefer. You're gonna first have to lay your baking tray with parchment paper. I here use some meringue to kind of make my parchment paper stick to the tray because it tends to move when I am piping. You can skip this if you don't have this problem, but I prefer to do it. So I will try to show you different shapes or different piping techniques you can use, but it's totally up to you. And as I said, if you're not happy with what you piped with the shape, just scrape it, put it back in the piping bag and do it again. Just practice till you're happy with the shape. And as you can see, the color we've added to the piping bag before adding in the meringue gives it more swirl, more depth, more fun. What you can also do is add a totally different color than the one you've already used to color your meringue to make it even more fun and give it more contrast, more color. It's totally up to you. Just go ahead and practice. I'm also going to be showing you here different shapes that I do, different techniques that I use. At this point, your oven must be preheated to 120 degrees Celsius, that's about 248 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're gonna bake them for about 1.5 hours. The oven should be set on normal heat, no fan, and you can place as many baking trays as you can fit in your oven. It's not a problem, you can bake everything at once. And once they are baked, 1.5 hours are over, you can either allow them to cool inside the oven after you switch it off, or remove them from the oven, place them on a cooling rack and wait until they are totally cold before you can add them to your cake or just enjoy them. In case you want to add golden color, you're gonna have to wait until they are totally cold, then mix your golden color, golden last, whatever you use, and brush it on the meringues. It stays really nice and shiny. And to add them to your cake, simply use buttercream to make them stick. They stick really nice, they don't get moist. To store your meringues, place them in a metal tin that's closed as well, and you can store them for up to a month. They stay nice crunchy from outside and chewy from the inside. I thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell to get all the new recipes, and see you soon in a new video. Happy baking!